Hello, Mr. Tunde, please, all mics should be muted. We are seeing your screen. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello. If you can hear me, can I see you do a thumbs up on your screen, please? Oh, great, great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Great. So you are welcome to this program of today. This is Digital Marketing Entrepreneur. And I think we have about 14 people on board now. We're going to start. So I want to say, Mr. Tunde, can you please unmute Ms. Folake Johnson, our speaker for today? Thank you. So without much ado, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mrs. Fumilayo Onofowokan. I'm the CEO of Green Olives Schools, Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy, and Green Olives Private School. Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy is a training organization dedicated to transforming the lives of children, youth, and adults to become better versions of themselves, to become change agents of Nigeria. Our passion, our motivation is to give training of exceptional quality so that people learn things at very affordable prices. We have mentorship series that comes up like every two weeks. We have our flagship product, which is the Green Olives Entrepreneurs League. We'll be letting you know about that at the end of this program. But we have to start now. I don't want us to waste time. So I'll be introducing Ms. Folake Johnson. She's a digital marketing specialist, and she's going to be taking us on practical ways of applying digital marketing to grow our business. I'm sure we all know what digital marketing is. It's simple. It's just a way of using online means, online media, videos, web, audios, anything that is not personal to be able to advertise and showcase your business. As I'm sure you know that entrepreneurship is the way to go. It's like the only lifeline in Nigeria now, looking at the way our economy is, that paid employment is getting progressively tough day by day. So it's entrepreneurship that we can actually use to help us to navigate this terrain. So without much ado, I would like to invite Ms. Folake Johnson to start her presentation. Welcome, Ms. Folake Johnson. You can see her bio. She's a Nigerian Brazilian digital marketing entrepreneur, and she's the founder of 1950 Limited. She's a renowned marketing agency professional, and over the years, she has been an inspiration to many youth and has been exceptional in her field. So I'm sure you know the digital marketing, I think it was a seminar that was held last Saturday, and she was one of the speakers at that program. So we are very privileged to have Ms. Folake Johnson here. We're going to tap into her wealth of experience, and this is a webinar like you haven't experienced, in the sense that at the end of this webinar, you wonder how you got such value for such a cost. But Ms. Folake is very philanthropic minded, and she was particular that we should not charge too much for this training, because she wanted as many people as possible to benefit from this. So over to you, Ms. Johnson, and we are very welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, Ma. I'm pretty excited to be here. I'm going to request that I can share my screen so that I can share the presentation slides. So can you just enable it so I can share my screen? Okay, so while I'm waiting for that, okay, yeah, we're here. Good afternoon one more time, everybody. If you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Okay, so I am going to quickly run through digital marketing strategy and your business. You know, Mrs. Onofoka said it already. Entrepreneurship is literally the way to go. We're living in a world where, with the amount of unemployment that is happening, the people still, you know, churning, you know, undergraduates from school, graduates from universities on a yearly basis. And these people are coming to even clog up a system that's already clogged up. So being an entrepreneur, understanding the entrepreneurial space gives you an opportunity to sort of be at an added advantage. It doesn't stop you from having your job. You can have a side hustle and still be an entrepreneur. You can have that as your full-time job, or you could, you know, run your 9 to 5 and have it on the side. So like she rightfully said, marketing is marketing across board. When you say digital marketing, a lot of people, they think about it in a certain way. Some people think digital marketing is just social media. I mean, I'm sure everybody is familiar with, you know, Facebook, what's it called? You know, Twitter, Instagram, and the likes of all the other social media platforms. But digital marketing is way more than that. So I'll start with my first question, which is, are we proactive or are we reactive as a people? Now, how many people, knew about Zoom before the pandemic? If you did, we're going to try and make this as interactive as possible. So you can make use of the comment section. If you had known about Zoom and you were using it consistently before the pandemic happened, just say aye or say yes in the comment section so we know. Can we, there's some, what's it called, going across the screen. Can we check that? Sorry, I'm going to reshare my screen. Okay, fantastic. So I'm just going to look in the comment section quickly just to see what people are actually saying. If you knew about Zoom before the pandemic, fantastic. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying yes, yes, yes. Now that the pandemic is happening, how many other virtual platforms, virtual meeting platforms do you know? Anybody? If you can mention 4 or 5. For those who know about Zoom, what are the other virtual meeting platforms that you know about? Okay, somebody's saying Teams. You have the Microsoft Teams, okay? So the person who's mentioning Teams, did you know about Teams before the pandemic? Somebody says Google Meet, fantastic, fantastic, yes, fantastic, Google Meet, Teams. Has anybody here heard of a platform called WebEx? Anybody heard of a platform called WebEx? Fantastic. Now, there's so many platforms that are springing up on a day-to-day basis. And one of the reasons why we're having this churn of platforms or virtual meeting platforms is because as a people, not just individuals, but as companies, as businesses, as entrepreneurs, we're more reactive as a people than proactive. Now, being reactive means that when something hits you in the face, then you think about your solution right there. But being proactive means that you foresee and you think about, 2-3 steps down the line. So what if we find ourselves in a situation whereby we can't physically meet? What do we do? I mean, that's why the person who came up with the Zoom platform created it in the first place. I mean, he didn't create it because he was envisioning that there was going to be a pandemic, but because we're living in such a digital a digital world whereby people across the world, across countries are collaborating on different projects, it was easy for them to actually create a solution. And now that there's the pandemic, I mean, it made it so, imperative for everybody to work at home for a period of time. Right now, it's just a few people that are back into, the office space, but we're still doing a lot of work from home. Now, looking at being reactive, which is where a lot of people, not just, like I said, not just individuals or businesses, fall in Nigeria. When a lot of brands want to do digital marketing, what's the first thing that they go to? Anybody? What do you think the first thing they go to is when they're thinking about digital marketing? Social media, fantastic. This is Adedolapo Balogun, fantastic. I love the fact that you're really, participating. This is great. So social media is one of the first places that people go to. And it's a huge misconception because social media is not digital marketing. That is one aspect of digital marketing. Now, how do we define what digital marketing is? Digital marketing, the digital marketing strategy helps your business achieve specific digital goals through carefully selected online marketing channels, such as, now this is where the media part comes in. You have paid media, you have earned media, you have owned media, and you have social media. And we'll break that down sometime down the line. Now, basically, this is a general course that is set for the organization as well as its various elements in order to achieve a desired digital state in the future. Now, what does this encompass? One, you need to understand the consumers. You need to understand who you're talking to. The second thing is you need to know where to reach these people. And I will talk about that as we go along. So you understand, a lot of people have products that they try to force down people's throats. So you're selling to people who don't necessarily care about your product, or you're selling to people who are not your core target audience. So the first step is understanding who your customers are. The second step is knowing where to reach those customers in the online space. And we'll look at the different platforms and understand what the consumers are even doing on those platforms, so you know how easy it is to then reach them in that space. The third one is to observe the behaviors. If I'm a Yoruba, well, I'm Yoruba. So if you're speaking Yoruba to me, and if you're speaking Igbo to me, and you have a solution that I need, the fact that you're speaking Igbo, because I don't understand Igbo, there's no way you're going to communicate to me effectively. So you might have exactly what I need, but because I don't understand you and you don't understand me, there'll be some form of misconnects or disconnect somewhere there. So it's the same thing with the behavioral patterns of our consumers in the online space. People are on Facebook for a specific purpose. People go to Google for a specific purpose. People go on Instagram for a specific purpose. And down the line, we'll look at the different platforms and understand why people are. And the last one, which is the most important one, is be where the people are. So we're living in a world that is fast changing. I mean, the pace is as fast as you see something happening right now. Before you open your eyes tomorrow, nobody is doing that. I mean, during the pandemic, there was this app that came up. I think it was called House Party. It became a huge sensation. Everybody's house party, house party. I don't think there's anybody using House Party today. And that's how a lot of things sort of in the digital space work. So today you're seeing everybody doing this. Tomorrow everybody's moving on to a different channel. Now, if you want to be effective and reach your customers in the digital space, you need to understand how these various platforms, various apps, various softwares, even if your company or your business is not on Snapchat, for example, even if your company is not on TikTok, for example, or doesn't have a TikTok account, you need to understand how those platforms work, because the people you're talking to are using those platforms. So I'll start with the first step. As an entrepreneur, the first step to ask yourself when you're doing your marketing or digital marketing is, what are your goals? What exactly are you trying to achieve, by running this particular campaign? Sorry, just quickly throw this in. If you have any questions as we go on, you can, I would have said put it in the comment section, but I don't want your questions to get lost. So you can just jot down your questions, and after the session, we would go through those questions together. So the first step, like I said, is what are your goals? What are the objectives you're looking to actually achieve? And it could be anything. I mean, I could say I'm trying to sell, hair cream, and I just want people to know about my hair cream. I want to drive awareness so it's in everybody's mouth. That's an awareness-driven campaign. If you have product and you want to sell product, then it's a sales-driven, campaign, and you need to ensure that whatever resources you're putting into your digital marketing campaign, you need to be able to see ROI, which is return on investment, showing how 3 naira made you 9 naira or 5 naira made you 15 naira, that type of stuff. So I will quickly look at a few objective-driven campaigns, or some of the objectives that you can look at when you're running digital. The first one is engagement. Now, engagement, the basic thing about engagement is keeping your consumers in that digital space, keeping them occupied, keeping them busy, because we live in a world that is so fast-paced. When I go to work in the mornings, because obviously I have clients, the first thing for me is to open up my emails. So I check for mails that could have been sent to me while I was on the go, or maybe the night before and I didn't see it. So I check for my emails. I also need to check, my Facebook, Twitter, my Instagram, they're all social media platforms that I would love to see if I have any messages or requests, or if there's anything happening in that space that my business could tap into. Now, because these platforms are so many, we're beginning to lose track of this. You can't even be on all the platforms, or even if you're on all the platforms, you can't be as effective as on all the platforms as you'd want to be. So there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, there's Clubhouse for those who use the iPhones. There's so many platforms. Now, I can't, because I have a 9 to 5, I can't be on all the platforms at the same time, or I can't spend so much time on all the platforms. So what I do is I ask myself, which of these platforms is most engaging for me? And that's where your job comes in. What are you doing to ensure that I'm not on competition's page, I'm not on any other person's page? Because it's not just a competition. If I'm selling Coke, for example, Pepsi is not my only competition. Anything I drink, ice cream is my competition, juice is my competition, bottled water, even pure water is your competition, because it's taking the space of what your product or your drink would have taken in the space of, or in the life of your consumer. So everything on the digital space is your competition, and that's a lot. There's even a lot in Nigeria, talk less of in the entire world, because digital sort of helps us transit boundaries. So people can look outside the country and say, what can I tap from Switzerland? What can I tap from the US, from Canada, from Dubai? Now, your job is to make sure you're engaging those customers on the selected platforms you've picked at all times. The second one is to communicate. Now, what is your overall marketing message? Digital marketing is not a standalone. Before you start out and say, I want to be on digital, there needs to be an overarching overarching marketing message or marketing plan. So for example, if I want to sell myself and I say, Steaze is maybe the most effective or the most reliable trainer in Nigeria. Now that's a message. How do I then take that message and take it into the digital space? So the first thing to do is, if you have a brand, if you have a product or a service that you want to sell, what is the unique selling proposition for that product? That helps you come up with your message, and then your message is what you then take and communicate in the online space. Now, what you can do with communication is you can do paid media and you can do social media. The end media, so I'll explain all of that when we get into the understanding the media space within digital. But for communication, paid media and social media would be the easiest way for you to communicate with your consumers. The third one is enlighten. Now, is the idea for you to educate, or what we call edutain, your customers with relevant content. Now, the reason why we say edutain is a lot of people are in the digital space for entertainment. Now, if you want to educate them, you need to educate them in an interesting way, in a way that entertains, because that's the easiest way for you to get your message across to these people. I mean, people are on certain platforms for certain reasons, and we'll look at that as we get to that space. The fourth one is co-creation. Now, will the customers be given an opportunity to co-create with the brand using platforms like TikTok, like Snapchat, like even Instagram? Gives us an opportunity to give the customers that co-creation right. It gives them an opportunity to say, me and this brand were one. For example, if I say, I've been in business for the past 5 years, I've been selling this particular drink. Now I want to rebrand this entire thing, and I'm giving an opportunity to my customers out there who are graphic inclined. Come up with a logo, come up with a new package design and send to us. Anybody that we eventually pick will pay for it. But it shows that as a brand, you're listening to what the customers want. For example, I can say I've been selling a cola drink, an orange drink, for example. And I'm based on the conversations that are happening in digital space, I realized that a lot of people are becoming more health conscious. So people are looking for drinks that are more in line with, Fit Farm, the health space and all that. So I throw it out to the customers and say, because we're all big on Fit Farm, what, new Fit Farm variants or what healthy variants would you want us to come up with next? And that might even add into, the new variants that you can then add into your product line. But it shows your customers that, look, we care about you, we care about what you think, and we're giving you an opportunity to, go on this journey with us as a brand. The last one is purchase, which is a very important one. Now, a lot of people seem to forget when they get on digital and get carried away with doing fancy stuff without, remembering that the goal might be to drive purchase. If I'm sitting down with cartons of my product and people are engaging on my posts on Facebook, on Instagram, people are visiting my website, but nobody is buying, then at the end of the day, I'm putting in resources, but resources are not coming, but I'm not making sales. There's no profit coming back to the business. And that would sort of defeat the purpose of marketing, because you can as well just, sit at home with the pro. So like I said, it might be an awareness campaign, it might be a sales-driven campaign, it might be a campaign just to edutain people, give people an opportunity to co-create, and the likes. Now, the second step is who you're talking to, which is where they have your target audience or your customers. Some people call them consumers, some people call them customers or target audience. Now, what I like to call them is what I call a tribe. Now, a tribe is a group of people that are linked by a common culture or similar traits. Now, these are a society or organization that's made up of smaller groups or units of people. So the first step is you ask yourself, who's this tribe you're talking to? What is the age range of the people within the tribe? Are they in the Gen Z category? Gen Z are people between the ages of 18 and 25. Are they millennials? Millennials are people between the ages of 26 to about 45, thereabouts. And then you have the baby boomers. The boomers are those within the ages of 46 to about 65. So you ask yourself, what is the age range of the people that I'm actually speaking to? And you identify that and put that down. The next step is to then take that tribe and break it into sub-tribes. Now, if I say I'm talking to people who are life enjoyers, these are people who love good things and are experimental and adventurous to new or innovative things. If I have a restaurant, for example, now it's a new restaurant. I just started. There are obviously a lot of other restaurants that people, go to. And I want people to see my restaurant as new, as innovative. I want people to leave the places they go to eat and come and eat at my restaurant. Then I need to target people like this. These are the life enjoyers. These are people who would want to visit new places, try out new recipes, take pictures of their food, post on Instagram. Now, what it does for you is it gives you an opportunity to use the ripple effect to grow your business or the awareness for your business. So like I said, still going back to what your objectives are at the end of the day. So you have your life enjoyers, you have busy bees. Busy bees are those who are too caught up in the rat race to focus on things. So they always look for what they can have on the go. Now, for the busy bees, You'll be looking at people who wake up very early in the morning. I'm sure we have a lot of people who going to school or going to work here. You know how Lagos is. There's always traffic. So people, are awake at 4 a.m., trying to leave the mainland to get to the island. It takes you about 2-3 hours to get to work. So you have to leave as early as possible. Now, with most of these people, they don't have the time to actually make breakfast in the mornings. So when they get it to the roads in traffic, and they're in the public transport or in Ubers or what form of transportation they used to get to work, you see some of them buying gala, buying chips, buying water, drink. It's because they belong to the busy bee tribe. And these are people who are what we've called on-the-go people. So they're always looking for what can I grab here and there because they're too busy to focus or settle and do stuff. Now we have the gamers. The gamers are those who look out for activity, opportunities to get rewarded for things that they deserve or not. And you have a lot of that in the digital space today, especially on social media with TikTok, with Instagram, where you have different challenges. I mean, during the the pandemic, we had the Don't Rush Challenge, we've had the Silhouette Challenge, there's so many challenges that are going on, via platforms like TikTok. But these are people who basically fall into the gamer category. We have the Fit Farm. Fit Farm are those who seek health benefits, but also look for things that bring a level of happiness. So they're not online to look for medicine. They're not online to look for medical solutions to certain. They're not online to find out why somebody is dying. No. They want the health benefits, but they're also looking for it in an interesting way. In a way, for example, if you say you're doing shawarma and you're doing vegan shawarma, people who don't want to eat meat can say, oh, you know what do you put in this, or blah, 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 am I interested in that? So you have a tribe of those type of people. You also have the daily cyclers, those that go through everyday routine of commuting to work, school, or places of daily interest. Now, these are not the only tribes that exist. I just use this as an opportunity, as an example for you. So you can sit back and decide for yourself that if this is what I'm selling, if this is my brand, if this is my product, if this is my service, who's the tribe I'm talking to? Who is my customer? What does my customer do? What do they like? You understand? And all those type of things are things that would sort of feed into how you speak to them, how you engage with them. So like I said, it's not just the life enjoyers, it's not just busy bees. There are so many different tribes that you can create or you can leverage on. Now, how do you reach these people? We've identified the tribes already. Now, the next step is how do we reach them? Now, we said we need to identify the channels that matter to us. If you are a small business or if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to be on all the social media platforms. Now, one of the mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make is, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Snapchat, I'm on every single platform that is possible. So because you can't keep up with the amount of content you need to put out on these platforms on a day-to-day basis, you find out that they're repeating content from platform to platform. So when I go on your Facebook page, this is what I see. When I go on your Instagram page, I see the same thing. When I go on Twitter, I see the same thing. When I go on LinkedIn, I see the same thing. Forgetting that the platforms exist for specific reasons, and we'll look at some of them. Now, I've said not all digital marketing channels apply to your marketing strategy or your campaign. The key is to identify which one works for the goal at hand. For example, if you're selling chips, if you're selling hair cream, I mean, how much would you want to do with a platform like LinkedIn? LinkedIn, everybody knows LinkedIn and why LinkedIn exists. So your key is, if it's something that you're selling that is visually driven, I mean, Instagram is there, Facebook is there, but let's quickly look at the social media platforms. We'll just pick a couple just so we don't run through. So like I said, the chat section is open again. For Facebook, what do you think Facebook is actually for? Anybody? What do you think the Facebook platform exists for? What do you think people are looking for when they go on Facebook? Anybody? Let's make this as interactive as possible. It's an opportunity for us to learn from each other. So this is what I tell my staff: no answer is wrong. Everybody, is learning on a
Please put your comments in the chat box.
Yeah.
Because we are not unmuting anybody. Put your comments in the chat box.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. So you can comment. We're going to look at Facebook. Let's look at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. What do you think consumers want out of those platforms? Why do you think I will be on Facebook? Anybody? Why do you think I should be on Instagram? What should I be looking out for when I'm on Twitter? Okay, so Edwin says family and friends connections. Adib Dolakwa says older generation mostly want to keep up with what their family and friends are doing. Fantastic. So this obviously is for Facebook. What I try to tell people is, for lack of a better phrase, Facebook is a monitoring platform. So, I mean, my mom is on Facebook, my dad is on Facebook, all my aunties, my uncles. Like Adib Dolakwa said, the older generation, they want to keep, well, not keep up, I'll say keep tabs. So if I take a picture with somebody right now, with a guy right now, and I put it on my Facebook, I can bet you that in another 5-10 minutes, my mom will call me and say, oh, is it the one? And I'm wondering, like, is it the one that did what? But that's what the platform is for. Now, if you understand that platform, if you're trying to drive a conversation around certain things and you want people to get involved, discuss, Facebook is not necessarily, it doesn't mean you can't do that on Facebook, but it's not necessarily the go-to platform for driving certain conversations. Now, conversations are driven on platforms like Twitter. Twitter is an opportunity for people to rant, give their opinions about the things that they believe in or the things that they care about. Twitter is also not a visually driven platform. Now, if you look at visual driven platforms, apart from Facebook, you have Instagram. Instagram is a platform where everybody wants to take a nice picture, show off something interesting. I mean, I just bought new shoes. This is what it looks like. Oh, I just bought a new house. Or if you think I'm lying, put it in the comment section. Or I'm letting you know exactly how Instagram works. So there was a time when, I had friends who were always reaching out to me and asking to borrow some ridiculous amount of money. Somebody asked me one day if I could borrow him 5 million. Now, for me, it told me two things. One, I have a principle. I don't borrow money that I can't dash out to people. So if somebody is asking me for 5 million, he assumes that I can dash out 5 million. The second thing is, what exactly am I doing that people assume that I have money to give out or throw away like that, because that's how I would have seen it. And I was discussing with my siblings, and my sister said, have you been to your Instagram page lately? And I'm wondering, like, oh, what does that mean? And I went there, and I kid you not, I was head of marketing at Silverbed then. So we used to have like different events and concerts that we go to. Silverbed always had a table. So when people see, pictures in my stories of me sitting at the table at so person's concert, they assume that I paid 1 million naira for a table. So they assume I have money. And I'm like, I'm not saying I don't have money, but I didn't pay for the table. You understand? But that's what Instagram does. TikTok, on the other hand, is more for activity. That's why you have a lot of the dance challenges and the other challenges on platforms like Twitter. So it's very imperative that we understand the platforms before sort of jumping into, throw your brand on them. Now, the fourth step is create what people are interested in. And how do we do that? We've said that we'll use something called attention marketing. So I'll explain what attention marketing is. Now, I said you'd sooner get a goldfish to engage with your post on social media than getting a human to do so. And the reason is because, like I said, our attention span in the digital space is so short. There's so many, do you know how many followers people have, on certain platforms? And then they're multi-platforms. I want to be on Twitter. I also want to be on Facebook. I also want to be on Snapchat. And then even when I'm on Instagram, for example, if I decide I want to stay on Instagram for a bit, when I get on Instagram, there's so much happening on Instagram. There's so many followers, and I'm trying to keep up with, following up everybody's gist, that your brand gets lost in the clutter of information out there, or in the clutter of content out there. So how do we then grab the attention of people in that space? It's about breaking through the noise of clutter to add value to these people. So we ask all the time, how do I get people to read, comment, like, watch, share, save, talk, and repeat? By doing something new, cool, or different. by connecting and engaging with your consumers. So it's not about posting something and going to sleep. You need to engage with them. That's why they are called an online community. You can't have a community without engagement. It's about satisfying the demands of the modern consumers. We're beginning to change. Our mindset is changing on a day-to-day basis. One of the things that e-commerce has done is to make shopping easier for people. I don't have to stand up and go and look for. All I have to do is go online. Oh, I want to buy this. Either go on Jumia, go on Alibaba. There's so many platforms you can go buy stuff and then they deliver it to you. It beats me going into my car, driving all the way to a certain supermarket, buying this, coming back, and all that stuff. And we're moving more and more into a space where people are so big on convenience. They don't want to be stressed. They don't want to be bogged down with stuff. So the easier it comes, the better for them. Now, with attention marketing, we have looked at what we call the 3 C's of attention marketing, the 3 C's. 1 is culture, 2 is context, and 3 is community. Now I'll go through each of these things one after the other, and then we'll take it from there. So culture is the ability to produce content in line with the culture of your brand and the audience you want to reach. Now you need to become part of a cultural conversation that's relevant to your brand. They've also said, don't be afraid to hijack existing cultural moments to prove that you're in touch with what's happening at the moment. And I'll give an example. The in-laws that is brought to you by Airtel. Does anybody know this series? Anybody? Is everybody familiar with this series? You can just put your comments in the chat section. Okay, fantastic. So I see that everybody is familiar with the in-laws. Now, you see what Airtel tried to do with this was to play on a cultural truth that is peculiar, not just to people, but to us as Nigerians. Now, the moment you do that, it becomes relatable to me as a customer, and you've gotten my attention because you're using context or culture that's relevant to me as a person. Now, looking at the in-laws ad series, it started out in form of advertising, and now it has moved into some form of short films or short series that people are actually using to drive content, not just in the terrestrial space, but also on platforms like YouTube or on Facebook. Everybody knows that in-laws, well, in most families, in-laws never get along, especially the mother-in-laws. They never get along. Everybody wants to, this woman wants to say, this is how my son should do. This other one wants to say, this is how my daughter to do. So what Airtel did was to play on that fact. I'm sure there's nobody alive today who hasn't gone through any issues with an in-law or doesn't know somebody that has gone through issues with an in-law. So it's a very strong cultural truth that Airtel used, and one of the things that can also help with our businesses. So how do you tap into the culture of the people? And it doesn't have to be culture of, oh, my grandmother in the village is what we do. No, even pop culture comes to play. What kind of music people listen to? What kind of movies are they watching now? What are they doing? What's the behavioral patterns when they hang out, when they just with their friend? What are the trends that they're talking about, and stuff like that. So that is how the first attention marketing C works, which is culture. The second one is context. Now, we said the ability to deliver the right kind of message at the right time to the right person. Context is also about the right way to produce content across multiple platforms. This idea now expands far beyond creating compelling content. Now, we've said, like I explained earlier, not all social media platforms are relevant for your brand. So we said, don't choose social networks at random, and there's no need to establish a presence on every social networking site under the sun. So pick which applies to you and then find the context or the way to actually use that to drive. So I'll use this as an example. Everybody knows that Access Bank and Diamond Bank sort of merged into one bank, which obviously is Access Bank. So Access Bank, the moment they were done with the merger, this was in 2019, they did, the Access Bank marathon. Everybody knows about the marathon. There was one that was concluded, I think, last month. So they had the marathon, and immediately after the marathon, what happens? you have your Loma guys coming in to clean up the place. Now, one thing that's peculiar to Loma is that their uniforms are branded by Sterling Bank. Now, Sterling Bank has nothing to do with the marathon. It's an Access Diamond Bank thing. But Sterling Bank, because they brand the uniforms used by the Loma, there's presence for them even at another bank's function. Now, they went online, took a step further, went online and said, well, one bank has to stay committed to keeping Lagos clean. Congratulations, Access Bank and Diamond Bank on a successful marathon. Keep Lagos clean, Sterling cares, Lagos City Marathon. You see what they have done is they have used style. That's the easiest way to say it. They've used style to hijack a campaign from somebody. Now, if you think about it, Access Bank, Diamond Bank would have spent so much money putting that event together, putting that activity together, running a campaign, a marketing campaign with marketing budget to actually make sure that this Lagos Marathon happens. And all Sterling Bank has to do is go on their Twitter page and tweet. Even if you're going to cost for data, how much would data cost you to just put up that tweet? But you have leveraged somebody else's platform to use as your own platform, to actually sell your brand. So that's one of the ways we can contextually tap into the digital online space and sort of market to our customers in a different way and grab their attention. The last one is community. Community is one of the most important things in the online space. You said the ability to develop a community of consumers is imperative in our marketplace. Today, customers or consumers trust people over brands, and the trend is showing no signs of slowing down. Now, what you need to do is leverage your fans to amplify your brand. How can you turn your customers or your followers into brand ambassadors without paying them, or turning them into an extension of your marketing team? Now, an example that I have used here is a platform or a group on Facebook called Fin. Now, I'm sure all the females in the house have heard of Fin. Everybody heard of Fin? Or even the guys? All the babes in the house heard of Fin? Is anybody here on the Fin platform on Facebook? You can just put it in the comment section. Everybody here? Anybody? Fantastic. So it's not a platform that is new to us as a people. Now, Mark Zuckerberg had to call for a sit down with the owner of the lady who started this group. And the reason why he did that was she grew the followership on that page in a very short time to over 1 million members. And, that was sort of huge for Nigeria. So on Fin, you have Nigerian women, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world, in Denmark, UK, US, Canada, Dubai, Nigerian women who are looking to share their stories, share their experiences on a platform that does not judge and is exclusive to just the members. So it's basically like saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What we discuss in Fin stays in Fin. But it's an opportunity for women to sort of get advice from their fellow women who have more experience than you, some who, can, offer you a helping hand or a solution to actually sort you out if you ever get into a fix. So I went on the platform one day. I went to an all-girls school, I went to Queen's College. So I figured that one of my classmates somewhere would have added me to the group. I didn't ask to be added, but I was like, okay, you know what, let's see what this group is about. So I go on the group and I started reading through some of the posts and the comments on the post. And I realized that it literally, in a way, and obviously I'm not gonna say it's a bad platform, but literally in a way, which I was just seeing women reporting their husbands. That's just, my husband beat me, my husband did this, my husband did not do, and then every woman whose husband has beaten them before in their life will stand up. Oh, even me, when my husband did this is what I did. So I realized that it was a safe haven for women who are going through things, to learn from women who have been through things, or women who are who sit as experts in areas that can help. Some of them are coaches, some of them are life coaches, some of them are therapists, some of them are doctors who can actually provide solutions in certain areas. So the question is, if you have a product or a brand or a service, how do you create a community around that product? If I'm selling hair cream, for example, is it hair cream for natural hair? Do I have a community of natural hair people? Because I know there's a community of people that don't want relaxer to touch their hair. Some of them are just team, they have this hashtag team natural that they do online. So are you creating a community around people like that, that they can come to a place and learn from each other? They can come and get tips from the brand. They can, basically just, be in a world of their own where they're like-minded people, with them. So that's the first question you need to ask on that community. How can I curate a community around this? The second is, where do I host my community? Your community, social media platforms that are good for building community are the likes of Facebook, or you have your WhatsApp. And WhatsApp is one social media platform that a lot of people sort of ignore. Or I wouldn't necessarily say ignore, they just undermine it. They just assume, no, it's WhatsApp. I mean, just sending messages. No, WhatsApp is a very key platform for building and growing a community of people. The moment you have a solid WhatsApp community, it makes it easy for you to do almost anything with your brand. The moment you say, oh, guys, we have this webinar, those people in that WhatsApp community are the people that will help advocate for you and push your brand to other people. Now, the last step I would look at is understanding how digital media works, so that when you're planning your strategy or you're planning your rollout plan. So now I have my brand. How do I take this to the outside world? What platforms am I going to be using? They fall under 4 different spaces. So you have your paid media, you have earned media, you have owned media, and you have social media. Now, paid media is one method by which organizations, brands, and individuals can promote their content through sponsored posts. So you have sponsored social media posts, display ads, paid search results, video ads, pop-ups, and other promoted media. For everything that you are paying for, you're paying a third-party platform for in the online space, is your paid media. So, for example, I'm sure you guys are, familiar with having sponsored posts on Instagram. That is one of the examples of paid media. The second one is earned media. Now, earned media is publicity or exposure gained from methods other than paid advertising. That's where the earned media comes in. So earned media is essentially online word of mouth in form of viral tendencies, mentions, shares, reposts, reviews, recommendations, or content that is picked up by third-party sites. So I'll give you an example. There was a time we had this, financial institution we were working for, and the head of marketing and corporate comms insisted that the annual general meeting pictures and content about it must be put on Linda Ikeji. And we told her, we said, look, this is a serious thing. We shouldn't put it on Linda Ikeji. She said, no, put it. Back then, Linda Ikeji, I think to put a post on Linda Ikeji was about 50,000 naira. So we put up the post. We told her not to, but she insisted, so we put it up. I mean, I would allow you to do it, because sometimes you learn from other people's experiences, but the best way to learn is actually learn from your own experience. So we posted it on Linda Ikeji, and this is what happened. The moment it went up, in less than 3 hours, we went to check up on what the progress was like, and it had about seven or 8 comments at that time. The first comment said nice. The second one said good. I just immediately told my staff, I said, these guys are probably staff of the company. For them to come here and say nice, good. You see the remaining 5 or 6 comments over there were other people trying to sell their products through your post, a post you have paid for. So I've spent 50,000 naira telling Linda Ikeji that I sell pepper. So post it here that I sell pepper and let people know. But right under the post of selling pepper, somebody else is saying, I sell shoes, back to school prices, discounts. Meanwhile, that thing goes about maybe when school is about to resume and parents are actually looking for great discounts in buying shoes for their children. I can bet you that that 50,000, you've used it to sell somebody else's product and not yours. Now, earned media is this example. Right above that post, there was a post about D'banj and a South African model then, I can't remember her name, where the post said, oh, D'banj is now dating so person. D'banj didn't pay for that post. Neither did the South African model. But guess what? By the time I was checking it, it was posted right after our own post. It had 340 something comments. People were like, man, D'banj, I always knew this guy would do this, I did that. And I'm like, we're spending money, but you're spending it in the wrong place. Now, because as an entrepreneur running a small business or a side hustle, you don't have the luxury of throwing money around the way the big brands throw money around. So it's very imperative for you to understand which form of media am I going after. Publicity or exposure is literally the easiest because you're not doing anything. You understand? The third one is owned media. Owned media is any online property that is owned and controlled by a brand, such as your blog or your website. Now, the more owned media channels a business has, the larger their digital footprints, which means more potential reach to customers and followers. So I'll give you an example. If somebody says, oh, I need to buy a new gas cooker. I'm new to Nigeria, I'm new to Lagos, I don't really know anything. The first thing I'll do is go online. If I live in Surulere, where can I buy gas cylinder in Surulere? Now, if your business, if you have a website, has your address on it, if you have a blog that talks about how you're a subject matter expert in those spaces, it makes it easier for Google to bring out in its search result your product, your service, or your business, or your website. So that increases the chances or the reach for getting more customers to your business. And then the last one is the one we are all familiar with, which is social media. So social media basically facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual networks and communities. Remember, we said community is very important. Now, by design, social media is internet-based and gives users quick electronic communication of content. Now, you have your paid media, you have your earned media, you have owned media, you have social media. We've looked at the different steps to utilizing digital marketing when it comes to the entrepreneurial space. Now, what we're going to do is do a quick activity. This shouldn't take more than 10-15 minutes. We're going to try out all that we've learned. Now, the class activity, like I said, in 15 minutes, let's sell some soya health drink. How do we grab the attention of consumers in the online space using the 3 C's of attention marketing? 1, what culture can we leverage? Remember, you're selling soya health drink. Number 2, how can we contextually create content for this brand? 3, how can we curate a very active audience that will eventually become brand advocates, which ties into your community? And the last one is, how or what media would you take into consideration? So the consideration for media will fall across your paid media, your earned media, owned media, and social media. So we're going to take the next, I think it's 4:59 now, it's almost 5. Yes, 5 o'clock right now. So between now and 5:15, let's quickly attempt to, come up with solutions to meet this. The same thing applies once you have your answers or your approach or your solution, put it in the comment section so we can quickly go through it together. So you have 10-15 minutes. By 5:15, we should be going through all our submissions. Is that fine? So let me have a verbal confirmation that it is actually fine. If you understand the task, just do this. And if you don't understand, put it in the comment section and tell me what you don't understand so I can break it down for you. Do you understand? Is everybody fine? So one, are you listening to, can you hear me? Okay, I can see some comments in the comment section, the two people.
Yes, we can hear you.
So you guys understand. Someone says I should explain again. Okay, now my first question is, sorry, what we're doing is we're selling soya health drink. Based on everything that we have looked at today, we're selling soya health drink. How do we grab the attention of customers in the online space using the 3 C's of attention marketing? The first question is, what culture can we leverage? 2, how, remember culture, we looked at the example of the in-laws by Airtel. Now, Airtel, obviously, they're selling communication. In this instance, we're selling soya health drink. Now, what culture do we have in Nigeria? It could be pop culture, it could be traditional or terrestrial culture. What culture can we leverage to sell this soya health drink or to grab the attention of the consumers for soya health drink in Nigeria? The second one is, how can we contextually create content? What type of content can we leverage or can we create looking at that space of soya health drink? The third one is, how can we curate a very active audience that would eventually become brand advocates? And the last one is, so basically that sort of fits into the community we looked at. We looked at Finn on Facebook as an example. That's female in Nigeria. Now with this, how can you create or curate a very active audience that would eventually become brand advocates for your brand? And the last one is, how or what media would you take into consideration? Are you going to do paid media? Are you going to do earned? Are you doing owned? Or are you doing social media alone? Does that answer your question? Does that answer? Fantastic. So we have, your time is running already. We have 12 more minutes. By the time it's 5:15, please put your answers in the comment section, everybody. Like I said before, no answer is wrong. It's a learning opportunity for everybody, so don't be shy. Whatever idea comes to mind, the reason why we're here is we're here to learn. So I'm not expecting that everybody has some fantastic, mind-blowing ideas that's going to change the world like almost immediately. But the idea is to understand the foundation of the principles of digital marketing so that we can apply it to our everyday business. So between now and 5:15, let us come up with fantastic solutions. Okay, if you have any questions, please put in the comments. I will be here to answer your questions before then. Thank you.
I hope nobody is trying to annotate the screen. I believe this is a forum of very, very intelligent people that are interested in learning. So please do not annotate the screen.
I want to believe everybody is done. It's 5:14. Okay, you have 1 more minute. But I'll quickly look at some of the submissions that have come in. We have some. The first one is Paul Mary. So Paul Mary says, daily cyclers. I'm guessing, this is stuff that you can buy in traffic. So yes, that is the one of the tribes that you can look at. There's still more tribes. The first tribe I would have expected you to hit on would have been the Fit Farm tribe, because it's a health drink. But I like the fact that you looked at the on-the-go, approach to this product. So that works for me. The communities, I'm not sure what you mean by marketplace, because basically the communities are to sort of, these tribes, how do you bring them together in one place? On what platform are they going to be on? We saw the Fin community, and the Fin community is built on Facebook. There are different communities that are built on WhatsApp. So how are we building these communities, and what are we doing? I see Instagram and Twitter, which are pretty much key places to sort of push the brand. I would have expected to see Facebook, but Facebook isn't here. You selected only owned media. I would really like to know why you did that. So if Paul Mary, you can just put that in the comment section. Let me know why you picked only owned media out of the 4 different media types. I'll move on to the next one. So this just says M. The culture, you're looking at Fit Farm and Daily Cycles, fantastic. The context is visual, okay, that works. And the community is fitness, health, eating groups with a USP of convenience. I think that is fantastic. You can build so much around that. You can, if you look at YouTube as a platform, there's so many YouTube content today that sort of, gives people tips on how to stay healthy, what type of workouts to do, where to find certain things. And I think that's a very fantastic approach. For your media, you selected earned media and social media. I think that's also fantastic, because word of mouth is very important, publicity. And for social media, it's one of the most affordable ways for us to sort of leverage marketing in digital space. So I think that is good. That was a very fantastic one. I have the next one from, I don't know how to pronounce this. This is a lot of numbers and letters. This says C5A9NF. I'm just going to call you CNF. So CNF says Fit Farm culture. Fantastic. We can create content by making short videos of friends and family enjoying soya milk at the hangout at home after workout. Now, I like the idea that you went into execution or tactical. Now, if you create a video of people just enjoying soya drink, there's nothing interesting about that. How do you take that a step further? Look at the way Airtel leveraged the in-laws to actually, shoot their own videos. What can you leverage on this that would actually make it interesting for people to want to watch? I'll give you an example. Let's assume that the short video you want to shoot is around some guys that live in an estate, and every single time they're always asking themselves, maybe a group of 4 friends who are trying to get the same babe or trying to appeal to the same babe, but one of them has a pot belly, one has 6 packs. So the whole idea is if you're fit, the girl will look your way. You understand? So all those type of things are things that you play around the culture, the things that happen on a day-to-day basis are the things that will bring out. So if you just do short videos of people enjoying soya drink, it's expected, it's a bit predictable. So what's it called? You need to now take that and break it further, take it a step further to say, how would people watch my video and not watch other people's video? The only reason why I watch a video over yours is if it's more interesting than yours. If it looks like an actual movie or an actual film or a short or a series, I'll watch, that. You selected earned media and social media. I think that's fantastic. Those are 2 easy ways. Paid media is actually one of the fastest ways, but pretty expensive. So if you're looking at starting out as an entrepreneur, I would say earned media, social media, maybe a little bit of funds here and there to sponsor certain posts on social media, but not to then go into the elaborate paid media. Onifade Motura says culture is fit farm. I did Dolako Balogun, fantastic. I knew this was going to be a lot. I like the fact that you've been contributing along the line so far. So your culture, tap into the growing fit farm culture in Nigeria and create content on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube that teaches people how to stay healthy. Morning workouts on VFresh's Instagram Live. I love that. I think that's very fantastic because it's something people do already. If you go to several estates, you see people jogging in the estate. There are people, in fact, when the Lekki Koito Bridge was built, there were more people on the bridge than cars because people just assumed that was a very fantastic and strategic place for them to do their workouts or jog and all that stuff. So it's a very important culture that you have decided to tap into. I like that. The context, sponsor Legacy Marathon by supplying VFresh drinks at the end of the run to help drive awareness. All right. That's a great approach. A whole lot could be done on a smaller scale. This is actually like large scale. A whole lot could be done on a smaller scale that would also help drive some form of traction. You've also said to curate VFresh, start a WhatsApp group that will give audience tips on how to stay healthy, and members can also share tips and their own personal health stories. I love the fact that you brought up WhatsApp. A lot of people forget WhatsApp when it comes to social media. For your media platforms, you're looking at social media and earned media, which is good. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Earned media, people reposting content that's shared on those pages. VFresh can also do UCG and ask consumers to share their stories on their social media pages. I think this is fantastic. This is very, very in-depth, very well done. Edwin, we have healthy family culture. Okay, so you're looking at it from the point of view of a family brand. Content around great benefits of soya milk, Instagram and Facebook. Okay, fantastic. Social media, health, family culture. Okay, same thing. So you've picked social media only as your primary form of media. Okay, fantastic. Kiki, I can see culture, vegans, people who suffer from lactose, healthy living, fantastic. The context showing how soya drink can be used in smoothies. I think this is very fantastic because this is taking it away from the product and then incorporating it into what people are used to doing already. Everybody is doing smoothies nowadays. So how can you sort of incorporate this product into what you're doing? Imagine pouring that in the blender, putting some bananas, putting some mangoes. At the end of the day, you come up with something fantastic. That even fits into the type of content you can put on your pages on YouTube, on Instagram. And you can also give the customers an opportunity to create their own recipes using VFresh soybean drink. Onifade Moturaya, okay, I think this is continuation of that one. So your culture, fit farm, context, making videos of people at the gym drinking soya milk after workout, okay, fantastic. Community, health, skincare, fitness, media, paid media, and social media, fantastic. I think you guys have a proper grasp of how this works. Okay, so Kiki says media, Instagram, and Pinterest. Okay, fantastic. It gives you an opportunity to play around with pictures, images, visuals. There's so many things that can be done. You can create wallpapers. You can create, wallpapers that can be used on people's phones as long as they're interesting, because it's one of those things that people see and say, oh, I used to do, I like this, send this to me, blah, blah, blah. And, that's how you realize that your brand keeps growing. One thing I didn't see across board, though, was the objective of, nobody stated the objective of the campaign itself. Remember, we said at the beginning, what are you setting out to do? Are you setting out to drive awareness for your product? Are you setting out to sell your product? Are you setting out to just create a community and engage the community? So the first step, don't ever forget, is your, your objectives. And once your objectives is set, every other thing flows. So thank you so much. For those who haven't submitted, I think you should do it in your free time. It's something that would help you create a mini blueprint for when you start your business. Once you're about to hit the digital marketing space, it's something you can pull out a sheet of paper and sort of run through to give you guidelines or a roadmap as to how you will strategize in the digital marketing space. So thank you very much for having me. I guess I'll take questions. Mrs. Onofoka, I think I'll take questions at this point.
Yes. Wow. If we want to clap for Ms. Folake Johnson, can you just put something in your box?
Yeah, mute.
Just put your hand. And yes, I can see Onifade has already waved. Let's see a wave. Let's wave. Fantastic. Dolapo Balogun. C5 is waving. Fantastic. That was awesome. And if you're looking at your time, we just had this training in, I can say, about an hour, because we started about 4:15, and I think the time now is about 5:15, and we've been able to have her lecture us. We've also been able to do a practical, and that was what I loved about it, that nobody is leaving this place without some form of practical knowledge. I'm sure you are wondering, how can this training be 2,000? Yes, that is the advantage of coming to Green Knowledge Vocational Skills Academy. We are passionate about just making people become better versions of themselves. And we were fortunate to come across Ms. Folake Johnson that shares our ideology of helping to impact humanity. Because if she wanted, it to be so exclusive, maybe we'll have only 2 people that will be able to pay for someone like her to come on this program. So I want us to start asking questions on the chat box. Please start putting your questions before we go to the second part of the training, which is on entrepreneurship. And that is not going to take me more than 20-25 minutes. I don't like to engage people on Zoom for more than 1.5 to 2 hours. 2 hours is even too much because we all have things we're doing. So I like it to be short and sharp. So we started at about 4:15. It's now about 5:25. I want us to be out of here before 6. So let's start asking our questions before I go on to my presentation on entrepreneurship. Thank you. Do we have questions for Ms. Johnson?
Any questions? And if you don't even have questions right now, I think we had. Let me just check. Will the notes be available for download? Mrs. Onofoko, are you going to make the slides available to them?
And we are going to get in touch with them for that.
Okay.
That may come at a very small cost, but we'll get in touch with you. We already have a WhatsApp group that we have created for this forum, so we'll be communicating. Some have even asked for a recording as well. So because some were not able to attend, and they really want the recording. So we're going to communicate with you on that WhatsApp group.
Okay. Fantastic. I'm sure that answers your question. Who asked
Hello?
that?
Yeah.
Yes. So this came from Prestige Cakes. Okay, yeah, fantastic. So that's been addressed. If you want to take your time to go through everything we've learned and try out the the activity on your own in your free time, if you have questions, you can send it to Green Olives as well, or you can share it on the WhatsApp group, and we'll see if we can obviously just give a little bit more assistance, especially for those who have small businesses they're running or who are starting out their entrepreneurial journey. So,
yes, so
in the
open
absence of more questions, yeah.
Yes, we're open to more questions. And even if you do not have all your questions now, I'm sure all of you that are on this program, you are on our we have created a WhatsApp group. So we'll be able to take your questions to Ms. Folake Johnson. And at the end of this presentation, we're going to show you how to join us. We have a flagship program called Green Olives Entrepreneurs League. If you go on our website, www.greenolivesvsa.com, you'll see, but we're going to show you visuals very soon after my presentation. So if there are no questions, let's go to the entrepreneurship presentation. So maybe Ms. Folake, can you stop sharing your screen now?
Okay, thank you so much, Mark.
Yes, but we want you to still be around in case.
Yes, I'm right
some
here.
Questions. Okay, thank you, thank you. Mr. Tunde Atolagbe, are you on ground? Mr. Tunde Atolagbe. Hello? Hello, Mr. Tunde, please. Ms. Folake, can you stop sharing, please?
No, I'm not sharing anymore. I've stopped sharing.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm wondering why I'm still seeing your screen. Probably my system hung or so. Hello, Mr. Tunde. Hello, Mr. Tunde, I'm online. Please, I want you to show my screen. Can everybody see my screen, please? Can we all see my screen? Okay, great, great. Mr. Tunde, please, can you make me a host and let my photo show as the presenter? I'm still seeing Ms. Folake. Or is it my screen? Hello, Mr. Tunde, can you show my screen, please?
Your screen is showing, ma.
Okay, so can we start my presentation, please?
Okay, let's start, ma.
Okay, so we're going to talk about starting an entrepreneurial journey with your skills. I believe we have all benefited from Ms. Folake's presentation, and many of us on this platform, some of us may already be entrepreneurs, fantastic, so we are a tribe of entrepreneurs, but some of us may have not yet started our entrepreneurial journey. And why are we calling it a journey? Entrepreneurship is a journey because it's not a sprint. A sprint is something you start and you end in about maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But if you are talking about a journey, it's actually for life. So, and I always say, when you are going on a journey for life, you need a different set of baggage. You need a different set of skills. And that is why entrepreneurship is so interesting. Next slide, please. Now, who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody that takes a lot of risks and of course bears a lot of rewards. An entrepreneur is someone that does a lot of thinking. You know, I put in the chat box earlier that you need to do critical thinking to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not for lazy people because you have to continue to engage both sides of your brain, the cognitive, logical side and the emotional, creative side. I'm sure we all know that we have two sides to our brains. So entrepreneurship takes all of you, all you've got, you know, to be able to bring a product into the world. So you are an individual that creates, you are a creator. That is the word I want you to always have in mind as an entrepreneur. You know, you are a creator. You are not a rubber stamp that somebody has done something, you're doing it, and you're just continuing the journey. You are a creator. You are bringing something out of nothing. So that means you have to be a person that engages all aspects of your brain. And again, you're going to have to take a lot of risks because an entrepreneur, you do not see the future. You do not see whether what you are going into is going to succeed or not, but you just have this dogged determination that I'm going to make it come what may. So that is who an entrepreneur is, because an entrepreneur is not somebody that likes to sit in paid employment and just get a 30-day salary person and be told what to do by a boss. You don't engage your brain. You cannot create. You cannot innovate. There's no risk. As long as you please your boss, you get to your job on time, you get your salary at the end of the month. It's not a bad life. There's nothing bad about that, but that is not entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur wants to see the world. He wants to take risks. He wants to be a creator. You understand? So that is who an entrepreneur is. Next slide. Now, these are certain traits of an entrepreneur. You just have to be somebody that takes risks. You have to be very, very action-oriented, very hardworking. I read something by Elon Musk. I think he posted it yesterday. And he said, look, if you really want to succeed in life, you have to work harder than your contemporaries. And they said, I learned he said he's working like 85 hours a week now, and that he's thinking of slowing down. I couldn't even understand what that meant. Because as far as I knew, there are 8 working hours in a day. That is, if you start at 8 o'clock till 5, to me, okay, that is like 8 hours. If you multiply that by 5, that's a 40-hour week, which everybody knows. So if Elon Musk is working 85 hours a week, I wonder if he is sleeping. But that is why he's Elon Musk. That is why he's the second richest man in the world. And that is why he's the creator of so many things that will just blow your mind. So you need to be able to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Can I really work hard? Can I task myself? So hard work is not negotiable for an entrepreneur. You must be a person that is driven by vision. You just want to achieve. Sorry, Mr. Tunde, I'm not seeing my screen again. Is it my internet? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, please? Okay, I'm not seeing my screen. Mr. Tunde, can I see my screen?
Yes, I can.
I'm not seeing my screen.
Coming up.
Great. So like I said, you have to be a hard worker. You have to be driven by vision. Your vision is what propels you. Your vision is telling you, I must achieve this. So that is what propels you. Once you are hardworking, of course, you'll be action oriented and you must be enthusiastic. I'm sure we all enjoyed Miss Folake's vibe. You could see that, I'm sure we all want to be in her tribe because she's just a naturally enthusiastic person, and that is how you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to draw people to yourself so that they want to buy from you, they want to associate with you, they want to be your tribe, they just want to be in your space. So that's fantastic. Can I have my next slide, please? Now, you have to ask yourself, this is a journey. When you are going on a journey, okay, where am I going? I'm going to XYZ. How do I get there? I'm going by air, I'm going by road. How long am I going to be there? What am I going to do there? That's what you ask yourself on any journey. So now you are going on an entrepreneurship journey. You have to ask yourself, what are you good at? Because you can't just be a jack of all trades, even though you may be a person that multitasks. That's another question, because people have said multitasking does not really exist. You have to do one thing and do it well before you go into something else. So, what are you good at? Some people think that whatever they studied in the university is what they are good at, and the answer is no. Because some of us do not get into the university or the polytechnic with what we are good at. So we do not need to always say that, oh, I must do what I studied in the university. So you have what you studied in the university, but you also have your passion. What is it that you can do without even being paid for? That is a good way to start your entrepreneurship pursuit, because there are going to be times in your entrepreneurship journey that business is not so good, but because you are passionate about it, you like what you're doing, it keeps you going. I already know that I'm a chartered accountant. I qualified as a chartered accountant in 1989. I left the university in 86. By 89, I was already a chartered accountant. I'm a fellow, but I know I'm good at education. So in 2002, I started my school, a nursery and primary school. I also know that I love to bake. So I started doing some baking, and I've been baking commercially. So I can work as an accountant. I have my school still running. It's about 20 years old, and I bake, and I still do other businesses. You see, in entrepreneurship, you just have to be thinking, how can I have multiple streams of income? Warren Buffett said that you have to make money while you sleep. And if you remember Robert Kiyosaki that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, telling you that you have to be your own boss for the majority part of your life. That is what it means to be an entrepreneur. So we can also ask ourselves, what problems exist around us that we can solve? I met a lady that said she sees that there's so much trash collection problem in Nigeria, and she's an engineer, and she has created a dump somewhere, and she's going to partner with Loma to know how they are going to do some recycling. So she was just able to realize that there is a problem she can solve. So that's another way you can be an entrepreneur. You look around you and ask yourself, how can I solve some of these problems around me? So that is self-discovery. there are steps to begin your entrepreneurship journey. Like I'm writing over here, nobody is actually born an entrepreneur, but you can become an entrepreneur because, like I said at the beginning, entrepreneurship is not optional in the Nigeria of today. Our population is so much. We are 210 million. We do not have enough jobs. We do not have enough jobs for the youth that are being born, that are leaving the university, leaving the polytechnics in this country. So it calls for critical thinking. Entrepreneurs have to be the ones to move our country forward. So, like I said, while there's no perfect guide to entrepreneurship, there are a few steps that should be taken before beginning this endeavor. However, as with most other forms of business, one way to achieve your goal is by avoiding mistakes. So following this piece of advice will prevent you from starting off your life as an entrepreneur on the wrong foot. Now, these are certain steps that I offer. Like I told you, these are not all the steps you need to take to be an entrepreneur. If I'm going to talk of entrepreneurship, I can talk about it from now till tomorrow. If Miss Folake is going to talk, she's going to bring in different things that she has learned on her own journey. So entrepreneurship skills are always based on of the experience of the person that is doing the presentation. So this has been my own experience over the 20 years that I have run my business. You must have the right mindset. I just know that I wanted to start my business early before retiring because I knew I was a chartered accountant, but I didn't want to retire and just have an accounting firm, which I already have with my husband. We are both accountants, but I knew I wanted a school. So I was determined. I went for a Montessori course. I learned from school owners. I was passionate. I moved here. School owners became my friends instead of accountants because I knew that was where I was going. So I had that mindset that I must achieve this. So I had to take a course. I knew that I just had that vision. So that's the first thing that you need to do. And I just knew failure is not an option. I've had a lot of challenges over the 20 years, but I'm not going back. So failure is not an option. So that mindset is something that is going to see you through your entrepreneurial journey. That is, I'm not looking back. Next. Now, you have to be honest with yourself because you are your own boss. And another thing is that as your own boss, there are certain decisions that you need to take. And I always tell people that if you are lazy in paid employment, you will be worse in your own business. But if you are very hardworking in paid employment, you are very conscientious, you are not somebody that lives in eye service, I can assure you, you are going to enjoy yourself in your own business. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to know that you are running your business and everything depends on you. It's not an easy path. So you have to concentrate. You have to put in all you can. As for those of us that are still in paid employment, let's learn as much as we can. You can hear Ms. Folake saying that she was at Silverbird. So all the experience she had outside, she now brought it into her own business. So try and learn as much as you can before you come into your own business. Next slide, please. Now, you broaden your knowledge and perfect your skills. I told you that I had to do a course in education to start my school. Now, because I'm going into coaching, I've also joined John Maxwell Leadership Academy. I told you I went for a cake baking course before I started baking. You can imagine, I read business administration in the university. I took ICANN exams. I qualified as an accountant. I went for a baking course. I baked. I went for a Montessori course. I have a school. I'm currently in John Maxwell Leadership Academy because I'm coaching and I'm not stopping. So that is what you have to do as an entrepreneur. You have to continue to upskill and upgrade yourself. You cannot just be stuck with whatever you studied in the university because I have a saying, the more you learn, the more you earn. So you are here on this program now learning about digital marketing. That's upscaling. So you need to continue to learn. And that was why I was passionate about setting up a training organization. I believe people should learn every day. I want you to use your data to develop your intellect, develop yourself. The more you learn, the more you earn. Next slide. Now you have to find a mentor. I can assure you that I have mentors in education. I have mentors in coaching. I have mentors in cake making. You know, you just have to have people you look up to, because life is a cycle. As you are looking up to people, other people are looking up to you. There is hardly anybody that has succeeded in life that doesn't have anybody that they have looked up to. So mentors are very important. Who is in the line of success that you admire, that you want to be like? Get to know that person. Move near that person. Let that person tell you how they made it, how they had their failures, and how they have succeeded. I always tell people that I have failed a lot, and that is why I'm like this. Anybody that has failed will always know, will be able to share their experiences and will not make those mistakes again. But when people tell you that I've never failed, that person cannot be your mentor, because you cannot learn anything from such a person. So mentors are important in life. Next slide, please. Now, once your business idea is prepared and you're ready to be an entrepreneur, what you need to do is to commit yourself to success. You've made up your mind, you have the right mindset, you've gotten all the education that you need, you've got a mentor, then you just commit yourself. And when you commit yourself, usually it has to be financial, because I look at people that want to start a business and they want to look for the money first, but no, you are getting it wrong. First, get your idea. Once you get your idea, then you are able to attract the money that you need for it. That will now show your commitment. So that is what you need to do when you need to commit. Now, on that note, I want to just wish you all the best in your entrepreneurial journey. This is just an intro in my academy. Please, can you show Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy? We actually do courses on entrepreneurship at Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy. We're going to put up a program now for you to see. We can train you on leadership, we can train you on entrepreneurship, on digital technology, different skills at our academy. Our website, Mr. Tunde, can you put our website, please? Yes, our website. Yes, so this is our flagship program for entrepreneurs. If you are willing to join us, this is Green Olives Entrepreneurs League. It's a platform that was created by Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy for people to connect, learn important skills, how to start a business, link up with seasoned professionals. We just had Ms. Folake Johnson now. 2 weeks ago, we had my husband, Mr. Bumi Onofoko. He shared with us how to plan our finances, and that is what we do on this platform. We want to help ourselves, and when you join, you get a discount. I'm also a coach, so you can have a coaching relationship with me, and you can do different courses. We have training on digital skills, we have baking in vocational skills, hair making, web development, digital technology, digital marketing, different things. Microsoft Suite, for those of us that we don't know how to use PowerPoint, Excel, Word, we can teach you all that. I do a free weekly podcast. Once you're in our group, in our platform, you get a podcast from me every week. The last ones I finished were a series on living a life of purpose. The next one I'm going on is coping with bereavement and grief, and different things that can help people. And next slide, please, Mr. Tunde. So once you join us, you have access to our training. Our joining fee is just 2005. It's just once a year, because we don't want that to scare people away. And then leadership and entrepreneurship development courses. We have different package, silver, gold, platinum. It depends on what you want. And if what you want is not what we offer, we can do trainings that will suit your purposes. We can even do trainings for organizations if that is something that you desire. Next step, please. So we have a way of registering. If you are already on our WhatsApp group, we're going to post all this on the WhatsApp group so that you can join us and we can continue this journey together. My aim is to partner with you as a coach, because entrepreneurship is for life. And as Ms. Folake has said, we want to have a tribe, a community of young entrepreneurs come together once a quarter, discuss with one another what's going on in your business, what are your challenges, how can I help you, who can I connect you with. We intend to be able to do all that at our academy. Our slogan in Green Olives Entrepreneurs League is see you where at the top. So see you where at the top. Can you all share at the top in the chat group? See you where at the top. Can you all put at the top in the chat group? Fantastic, Adedolapo. I'm seeing you at the top. I want to see others at the top. Prestige Cakes, Mrs. Laraike. Fidelis, see you at the top. Fantastic. Miss Folake Johnson at the top. Great, great. Moturayo Nifade, see you at the top. Fantastic, fantastic. Excellent. Prestige Cakes. Oh, Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy, see you at the top. So this has been an awesome training, and I'm open now for questions. Like I said, I want us to round up by 6 o'clock, and I don't want to delay you. Edwin, yes, at the top. That is where we all belong. That is why the motto of Green Olives is see you at the top. Any entrepreneur is destined for the top. Great, John Ojo at the top. So I can see that everybody has followed this presentation. I'm open to questions before we round up. Questions for me or for Miss Folake in the next 5 minutes. Oh, Shola Ugo at the top. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Any questions, any comments? If you have no questions, you can put any comments about how you have enjoyed this 2-hour training, heavily subsidized. This training should have been like 10,000 naira or more, but it has been heavily subsidized by Miss Folake Johnson of 1950 Limited and Mrs. Fumilayo Onofoko of Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy. So thank you for attending. Comments. Okay, Adedolapo says this was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dolapo. You are very kind with your comments. More comments, please. More comments so that we know what we could have done better, or if you enjoy this, because we're going to continue bringing seasoned professionals like Ms. Folake your way. Okay, Motorayo had a good time. The difference between a trader and an entrepreneur, Edwin, that is fantastic. A trader is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is a broad word to define somebody that works for himself or herself, has been able to take risks, and that's the reward of a business. So a trader is taking risks. Even the guy selling gala is an entrepreneur. He's working for himself. So don't think it's only big names in big organizations that are entrepreneurs. The vulcanizer is an entrepreneur. He works for himself. The lady that has a salon, she's an entrepreneur. The person selling pure water on the road is an entrepreneur. There's someone that goes into the sun every day, is taking that risk, is working for himself. He may be buying the pure water from a company, quite all right, but at the end of the day, he's working for himself. He's his own boss. So an entrepreneur is also a trader. So I don't see any difference between a trader and entrepreneur. I will say that trading is just a part of being an entrepreneur. There's more to being an entrepreneur than trading. You are a creative thinker. You are the person that is taking a risk. You are the person that is a hirer of labor. So there's so much to entrepreneurship, and we do entrepreneurship and leadership development training courses at our academy. We're going to put this information on the WhatsApp group where all of you are, so that you can come for just a token amount to learn more about entrepreneurship. And more importantly, from what I've gained, I have also gained from Ms. Folake, we need to develop a tribe, a community, people that think like us. Entrepreneurs need to move with entrepreneurs. So we can rub shoulders together, share our experiences. When I have a problem, I discuss with you and you tell me how you solved your own. We need to create that kind of tribe. We need to help ourselves, So Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy has created the Green Olives Entrepreneurs League, and it's essentially for networking, developing, helping ourselves to survive in these climes that we are in the Nigerian market. Any more questions? Any more things Well, I think, Mr. Tunde, is it possible that if we are ending, maybe you can just unmute everybody and everybody just says, see you at the top. I think that would just be fantastic, and we can end this training and it goes into our recording. Can you unmute everybody, Mr. Tunde, and let all of us. Can you all show your videos if it's possible? If you are well dressed. Don't show your video if you are not well dressed. So don't pollute me and Miss Folake.
Joseph, come on, everybody, come on, shout. Joseph, come.
Don't pollute us. Okay, I can see your laptop, beautiful
Come on,
face.
shout. See you.
Who else? Mrs. Ikwe, I want to see your face. You know we are recording this.
See you at the top.
Joseph, see you at the top. Shout it.
Nice to see Edwin. Yeah, with your headphones. Who else? We're going to round up in 2 minutes. We just want to say see you at the top.
See you at the top. See you, everybody shout.
See you at the top.
See you at the top. See you at the top. See you at the top.
See you at the top.
Great.
Yeah.
See you at the top. Great. If you are not on our WhatsApp group, join our WhatsApp group. I'm putting our phone number down there now so that in case you are not, send me a WhatsApp message. Please send a WhatsApp message to that number. I'm going to add you to our Green Olives training WhatsApp group. And this is our website. I'm putting it now. That's our website, greenolivesvsa.com. You can go there and get so much more information about us. greenolivesvsa.com. We have 2 schools. We have Green Olives Private School, which is our nursery and primary school. But this vsa.com is our academy. But if you also want, because some of you may have children in primary school and you just need a good primary school for your children, we are 20 years old. We are entrepreneurship driven. So that is the website for our school, greenolivesprivateschool.com. So we have that, and we are so delighted to get in touch with you. I'm the CEO of Green Olives Vocational Skills Academy, Mrs. Fumilayo Onofowoko. I'm a chartered accountant, a coach, an educator, and a trainer. So it has been a pleasure having you here today. So thank you, everybody. I think we need to go now. And if you need a recording, send a message to our website or to our WhatsApp number, and we can send you a recording. And even the slides of this program, we can get a lot of things from there. So bye. See you at the top.
Right, bye.
See you at the top. Bye. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tunde. Thank you, Shola, Fidelis, Edwin, Dolapo, Moturayo, King Kira, and Mrs. Ikpe, and Ms. Folake Abiodu Popola. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Bye. Bye. Follow us